Hey folks, this is Brian. I got a little bit of a different venue today. My laptop uh, has had some issues with the HDMI port, and so my backup laptop, which also had HDMI port issues, I took in and I got that fixed. So I've got my backup laptop back, but it's having problems where I wasn't able to record off of it. So I've got my old 2011 school computer laptop that I've hooked this camera up to hopefully give me something I can record with, because the built-in system for this is really cruddy for sound. But enough of that. The reason I'm recording, I forgot to do a session recap for my Sunday game at Origins. I realized that this morning when I was looking over my videos and seeing how many views and that kind of thing, if anybody had any comments, and I realized, hey, shoot, I've got Thursday and Friday and Saturday, but I don't have Sunday. So Sunday I had one game. It was the Fainting Spirit, which is that Hero Quest one. And I had a guy show up fairly early for that one. And then just before game time, two of his friends showed up. They're all wearing the same shirt. And so we did the standard introduction, Glorantha, Runequest. A couple of them had played Runequest 2 back in the day, but hadn't done anything with the new stuff. And so we go to the character sheet and describe things and, reference, hey, we'll come back to this when we actually encounter this in game. So we kick off the scenario, and on the previous one I mentioned about these vignettes, these narratives that the players do. And my last Fainting Spirit session, the party didn't go back to Clearwine to see Queen Laika to find what she wanted to do, and that is because I had forgotten that this whole finding the boy and the Lunar Soldiers narration vignette was all flashback. Everybody's supposed to start off at Clearwine in the court with Queen Laika to do the second vignette, which is convince her to send them to go rescue the boy, or not rescue the boy, but see what's going on with this clan. I remember that this time because I had reread some of the stuff. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's how that happens. So they do a vignette for the iteration. One of the players, you could tell that wasn't his gaming style, but that's okay. We talked through it, just gave him some ideas and recommendations, and he made his spiel, and the other two pretty much jumped right on. They had no issues with it. And then we talked through getting back to Clearwine and Queen Laika, and then Malin, the boy gives his spiel, and then the next vignette narration is for the players to convince Queen Laika that they're the ones that she needs to send to go investigate. And they do pretty well on that. I had them roll a couple of passions, I think I had to get that inspiration sort of thing going. And then they take off, they get back to the clan lands, they run into the patrol with the Hamakti and the children. Pretty standard, didn't change anything with that one. Other than I did have the sex of the Hamakti correct on this one. I think it's the female that's out on the patrol and the male that's back at the fort. And I played them pretty much the same way. They are clan soldiers. They're tools for the clan head, and these children he's with are representatives of the clan head, and so he kind of, or she, keeps deferring to them when they get into touchy kinds of questions. Eventually, the girl grabs one of the players by hand and says, "I can take you to Famous Bell. Let's go." And she wanders off. And then they talk along the way. They get some more questions answered. They see, children out in the fields doing stuff, all the adult chores kind of thing. And they get to the lunar fort, the abandoned lunar fort. And there's Hamakti there. And there's a write-up about the Mokti, blocks the players and asks them what they're doing there. And so I play off of this again with the girl looking at me going, "They're with me. We're going to see the clan heads," that kind of thing. So they go in, they see the twin girls, and at this point, a fourth player shows up. We are like 40 minutes into game time. And so I do a real quick intro and spin him up on stuff, and he picked, I believe it was Vasana for his character, and then Vasana and the two girls do the formal Orlanthe greeting thing. We both have the printouts, so we just do the spiel back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That was actually kind of interesting. I really liked, it seemed to play fairly well doing it like that. So we did that. And then the girls, they go inside, the party comes in with them, they shut the door, and the girls kind of collapse, stress and fatigue, and trying to be an adult and all that kind of stuff. So some more questions and answers going on. They decide we need to go to Famous Bell. The girls say, "We're going with you," and off they go. It's a Famous Bell. Everybody there's, the apathetic, comatose kind of people, and they're not reacting to anything. A couple of pokes, nothing happens. A couple talking to, no questions. And then they go to the clan hall, and there's a feature in the scenario dealing with all the people, all the adults of the clan. Every so often you roll for a random reaction. There's a D10 roll. A 1 is violence, and a 10, I think, is they're actually normal. They're just kind of confused what's going on. Most of it is this apathetic nature, but there's a couple other spots where they're like being idyllic. Idyllic. No, looking at all the pretty flowers, chasing butterflies, that kind of thing, right? But nothing that's going on here in town at the time. So, but when they go into the clan hall, I have them roll to see how the clan leaders or the council react to them when they come in. And of course, it's that D10 roll. And it could be anything, but they rolled a 1, which is the violence. So they attack. And I keep getting this session confused with another one. But I believe what happened is they just closed the doors, stepped out and closed the doors. And then they peek back in and re-roll, and they're normal. Normal as in apathetic. So they go in, they see the panels, we describe all the panels, they get the reading underneath, they take notes on that, they have a little discussion what they need to do, and the girls know where the cave entrance is, and they tell them, we tried to get in, but we couldn't. So we go down to the cave entrance, there's 3 people there, they're just normal, or apathetic. And then the girls kind of explain about how, they know they need to cut themselves and splatter blood on the entrance to get in. And I have everybody roll like a cult lore kind of thing to get the clue that, hey, there is some kind of supernatural aspect to this. We all need to make a worship roll kind of thing. But they don't all need to. The only one actually needs to make it. If somebody fails or fumbles, then they got to get 2 more successes kind of thing to overcome it. But I got somebody who has a decent worship roll and that works off right. They cut themselves, splatter the blood. Only one person sees the entrance, the others don't. So they kind of figure out they each have to go through it. And they get through it with no problems, and the girls follow. They get to the statue, and since they've got the verbiage and the pictures and stuff, they know they need to sacrifice a rune. They're not sure how to do that, and we kind of talk about, it probably means some kind of, you roll your rune to inspire it out kind of thing. And in the panels, it shows 3 runes: the movement rune, the air rune, and the earth rune. And so they think they need to do those 3. And one of the players, or one of the characters, is pretty high in both air and movement. And so they do the movement rune, nothing changes. So he does the air rune, nothing changes. Somebody does the earth rune, nothing changes. And they kind of figure, we each need to give a rune. So they all choose their own rune, give it to them, and then the girls do theirs, and the statue fades away, and they continue on. They get to the the wide chamber with the white ghost that says, "Send forth your champion." And Vasana steps forward to be the champion, and it's the honor duel. And so Vasana has a pretty high honor. So it starts off, fairly balanced. But then the Daughter of Darkness comes out, only one, because they only have like four players kind of thing. And one of the characters is the Hunter, and he does bear strength on himself. And he attacks and just tears her up. And then somebody else attacks. I think not Vasana, it's one of the other PCs, somebody with an axe attacks. And that's enough to get her really low. The first hit took her arm almost completely off. So her hit points were really low. So when it becomes her turn to go, she just turns to smoke and disappears. So we finished up the honor duel fairly quick. Vasana did end up losing. I was rolling good again. Excuse me. No, camera's off. There we go. And Vasana ends up losing, and so everything fades off, and she finds herself alone in this lush green forest with this huge, magnificent tree in front of her, and at the base of the tree is this nymph who's dying. And she needs, and she whispers this thing: "What you truly are will tell you what you need to do," something like that. You essentially have to invoke another rune or passion, I think it is, and then the players to explain how that treats the nymph. To successfully pass this phase, right? And I have the players, PCs, come through one at a time when I do this. Well, it's actually designed that way. I always do the honor fighter first, and then they come through one at a time after that. They come to the green forest, and by the time we get to the second or third one, they've all got this nailed down what they need to do. And they'll do different things. But it was the hunter. Remember if he did the death rune or the beast rune, and we were trying to figure out how that would work, and we got some kind of helping ease her passing into the next world kind of thing. And then once they've all gone through that, they all appear in the dark cave with the daemon, and the crazy daemon has his little spiel, and the girls say. I had a little piece where I had him say, "Focus on your loyalty and feed it your magic." And then we talk about mechanic. What does that mean? You got to make a roll on some sort of passion, and then sacrifice magic points to it. And I did the 5% for each magic point for this session. That seemed to make the most sense from all the data I had, rather than 10%, and then the numbers not matching up with anything. So the girls are pumping in 3 magic points each, and one of the other players starts to put magic points. That's when the loon comes out, moving straight for the girls. A couple of PCs move to intervene, and the loon does its madness on one of the girls, but misses. The 2 girls plus one of the players takes magic point damage at the end of the round, but the hunter was the one who intervened, and he still has his bear strength up, and so he just tears into this loon again, and I think somebody else had hit it once. That was it. 2 hits and the loon is out. So I've got to do some more research on this to figure out there's some way to make this loon a little tougher, or something. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But after the loon's gone, they've got all the time in the world they need to pump magic points into the daemon and get it back up. And it's kind of funny because it says once a daemon is at 30 magic points, it's then strong enough then to destroy the loon. But if PC can whack it with a couple of hits and put it out, what's the big deal? I don't know. I'm missing something. I've got to be missing something. But anyway, that was my Sunday session, my last session for Origins. All in all, the game went great, I thought. Even with the late guy showing up, he jumped in really quickly and got things rolling, and the hero quest went fairly smooth. That's it for me. Everybody else, happy gaming.